Hello, everybody! Live from the Xfinity Lounge, this is the PHLY Eagles Kickoff Show, presented by Bet365 and Ashley. And after an awesome day of watching high-quality football in games with high stakes, we get the main event tonight. The Eagles against the Lions at the Link. Nice and windy out there for Jared Goff. We're going to hear from E.J. Smith live at the Link. We're going to hear from Fran Duffy breaking down what we need to know about this matchup. But we start with Jamie Lynch. I'm Bo Wolf. Jamie, how are you feeling about Eagles-Lions, a matchup that feels like it has been a couple seasons coming leading into this matchup?
Yeah, we're going to get the win report from EJ down at the Link because I do think that's a big advantage for the Eagles here tonight, all things being considered. I mean, this is a dome team, and it is windy as hell outside today. So we'll see what Jared Goff has. But you're right. This feels like it should have been matchup from last year's NFC Championship game. Dan Campbell and Nick Sirianni kind of tied together as the professor has gone over from the same draft class and kind of like the unheralded bunch of that class.
Right, the two press conferences we made fun of.
Yeah, the kneecaps and planting flowers.
Yeah.
And I always felt bad for Sirianni because that was on Zoom, and that's a really hard situation.
That was such an awkward situation for him.
Absolutely. So tough.
Yeah.
So this is steel on steel. A great defense, a great offense from Detroit. Hopefully, we can say a really good Eagles offense after this one, and a emerging Eagles defense. So this is a great test, and there's a lot on the line.
But speaking of that great Lions defense, which at least has been very good this year, very beat up. They are missing two of their starters in the secondary. So Terrion Arnold is out for this game. Kirby Joseph, the safety, is out for this game.
So, Bo, that has to mean that A.J. Brown's going to go hog wild.
You got to think. I mean, A.J., is the squeaky wheel going to get the ball this time around? After all the talk, do the Eagles lean into letting the pass game lead them tonight? DeVonta Smith has been on fire the past few games. I would like to see the offense revolve around DeVonta Smith. And then you sprinkle in A.J. Brown where you need to. But it feels like an opportunity for the Eagles to throw the ball in this game because the Lions do have a very good run defense as well. And then we also talked about all week the chess match here from a Lions defense that plays a lot of man coverage, more man coverage than any team in the league. The Eagles have feasted on man coverage throughout Jalen Hurts' career. A.J. Brown in particular has feasted against man coverage. Do the Lions just sort of play more zones knowing that, and how do the Eagles respond to that?
Yeah, well, there's ways to get A.J. Brown involved even if it is a zone. I mean, one-on-one, there's not many guys that can oust them. You know, he performed well against Pat Surtain this year in a year where the offense is struggling. But, yeah, they have to get him involved. You know, him and Laurie meeting on this at practice the other day, like, that's bizarre. I don't want to say you force them the ball, but you have to make them first reads on a big handful of plays tonight and see if they can connect. Because it's just weird. Like, Jordan Mailata doesn't want to be asked about it. Like, people agree with him. It's a thing, but it's also a nuisance that you have to talk about it all the time. So for the sake of sanity, I hope they get AJ involved.
Right.
And the Eagles offense looks like potentially one of the best in football because this is a huge game tonight because, you know, the number one seed in the NFC, like, this is the path. If the Eagles win this tonight, there's a really good chance they get a bye. And we just saw a great Seahawks-Rams game. Detroit's good. Packers are TBD. There's some good teams in the NFC, so getting a bye is huge.
Well, you think about if the Eagles win this game, they will have beaten Detroit. They will have beaten LA. They will have beaten the Bucs, and so they will have a bunch of tiebreaker head-to-heads. The Seahawks are the only team they wouldn't have played yet, but I think their tiebreaker would line up well there, as the professor has also said to us. So, yes, there's a big swing based on the result of this game. Lions, by the way, also without Sam Laporta in this game. Let's check in on the Eagles inactives. Nothing really huge to note here. Sam Howell, third quarterback. Mac McWilliams continues to be down. A.J. Dillon feels like
when's he going to be
maybe
cut?
the next. Well, yeah, feels like maybe the next player to be released
Yeah.
when the Eagles activate somebody from injured reserve. Drew Kendall, and then Ty Robinson, a bit of an interesting one there. The fourth-round pick defensive tackle down for this game as the Eagles' defensive line all of a sudden looks much better than it did 2 weeks ago.
I'm excited to see them again.
Yeah, let's see.
It felt like a new defense last week. Nolan, our boy BG, and Jealan Phillips. You know, he had some comments before the game today where he's like, it just feels like I've been here for like years already. He's so comfortable. He said the locker room's great.
You have the best thing that's ever happened in your life.
Yeah.
Every day feels like it's been, years.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see that. I'm excited to see how the linebackers, because of Sonic and Knuckles, they're pretty damn good. How the linebacking rotation syncs up here with, a run heavy and potentially, they can do whatever they want, the Lions. And Dan Campbell's back at the helm now. So I'm really interested to watch the linebackers tonight. I think that's going to be a big key to the game.
Nakobe Dean and Jihaad Campbell have been rotating on kind of like an every 2 series basis. Yeah. I am with you. I'm curious to see if they sort of change up the predictability of that in this game. And I'm curious to see, does it become even more Nakobe Dean? Because he seems to be the one who Vic trusts the most right now.
In the run game, especially.
And in the run game, you want Nakobe out there. But in the pass game, I mean, if you're thinking about who's going to have a chance to cover Jahmyr Gibbs in space, it's probably Jihaad Campbell.
Yeah, but, mentally, that battle between the ears, I think you want Nakobe in there versus an offense of this caliber. I think it was Fran 2 weeks ago said he's diagnosing, Nakobe that is diagnosing plays ahead of anybody else, and he's just like not even thinking out there. So versus this Lions offense, you kind of want that veteran mindset a little bit, given what the Lions can do.
I feel like expect a spicy crowd tonight.
I do too. It's windy, it's cold. I feel like people are going to be fired up.
Jared Goff has struggled outside.
A little doll
hands.
Hands.
Good shout out to Deniz for this note. Jared Goff in his 10 years has never played a game in the Link in front of fans. He played one game here in 2020. So this will be the first time he's playing in front of the Eagles crowd.
Oh, they're gonna be frothed up for old doll hands there tonight. He's just got these little hands. And I kind of went on a tangent Wednesday with Rich. To me, like Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, and Jordan Love are like the murderer's row of just mid. Like Jared Goff, look, he shows up great in all the stats and the sheets, but I feel like when a big game is on the line, that dude just soils himself.
I don't really disagree with that.
Yeah,
I think my only objection there would be I don't think that Sam Darnold even belongs in the,
no,
in the other
you're
two
probably
categories.
right.
Yeah.
But he's now getting like praise.
Yeah.
He's in that. He's the freshie in the group of like unnecessarily praised quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm expecting a big Goff turnover at some point tonight, and I hope it's in pretty hilarious fashion.
How do you expect the Eagles to approach this game offensively? Do you think they will go Saquon Barkley heavy and be the same way that we've seen them try to play most of this season, or do you think they will lean into the passing game?
I mean, I think they have to get play action going, right? Like, so you have to establish a little bit of a run early here so they respect it. But I do expect them. Look, you're going to need to score points. Detroit averages 31 a game. This is a game tonight where you probably aren't going to get out with a W for a C performance. Like, you need an A performance. This isn't a game against the Rams that you can steal last minute. This probably isn't one of those you can just squeak by. You're going to need to put some points up, and Vic Fangio is going to have to keep this team under, probably 27 points to have a really good shot at winning this.
I would think so, yeah.
And look, I believe in Vic's, but the offense is the real question here tonight. What do we get? Because you're going to need to score 25 plus, like without a doubt.
Well, I think the real question is, what kind of fit does Mr. Fall have over there at the Link? Let's go to the Xfinity mobile call-in line now and welcome in our Eagles insider.
Not very fall.
Looks like a fresh cut there for E.J. Smith. EJ, how you doing?
Not very fall. I mean, it's brown. It's fall colors.
It's
I
earth
think.
colors, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going fall, we're expecting
Lumberjack,
sweater.
yeah.
Oh man,
This-
I
you
didn't
look-
think you guys would be disappointed.
Hold on. You look great. Let's not mince words here. But this is a 365 days a year outfit.
It's a letdown. Okay, all right.
It's not an
It's not a
Apple
letdown.
picking
It's
this.
just not.
I
It's
will
not
take
as
this-
seasonal as we were expecting.
I will take this under advisement. Yeah, but we're moving into winter. I mean, it feels like winter out there tonight. It's windy, it's cold. So yeah, we're transitioning a little bit here.
Give us a little taste of the scene down there. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell?
Well, I don't smell anything as per
That's
usual.
right.
Don't have a sense of smell. But what do I see? I see uprights swirling around in the wind, not just the flags on top of them, but the uprights themselves. Both of the kickers have been struggling to gauge the wind. It's funny. I was walking my dogs this morning, and I was walking into like a complete headwind. Headwind. Like felt like I couldn't walk in it, and I just thought to myself, like, if it's windy on this walk, I know that it's going to be ridiculous at the link, because even on like a normal day, the wind really swirls around that stadium. You can see it with the flags on the uprights and the uprights themselves. Both kickers, I'm not good with the directions, but the far side from where the press box is, Bo, if you can help me out there.
That's
both
the
kickers.
north, right?
That's the south end.
South. Okay.
Yeah.
South. So the south end zone, both kickers really struggled with their warm-up kicks on that side of the field. It's funny, Jake Elliott even peaked to see Jake Bates take a couple of attempts, and it seemed like they kept missing them to the right. So I think it's a strong wind pushing those kicks to the right tonight. So it'll be something to monitor. Obviously, the wind will probably die down as the game progresses, but especially early in the game, I expect that to be a factor. Honestly, not just with the kicks. Like, you guys were just talking about doll hands, Jared Goff. I feel like both
He can't eat the
quarterbacks will
Whopper. He's got
probably-
those little hands.
I feel like both quarterbacks will probably be affected by the wind with some of their throws as well.
Let's talk AJ Brown for a minute here, EJ, and the report today about from ESPN about Jeffrey Lurie meeting with AJ Brown. You wrote on allphly.com, and please become a diehard so you can check out that story about what the locker room reaction has been, or really kind of the lack of reaction has been to this stuff. How do you expect this melodrama to play out tonight?
It's funny. Like, I feel like I spent most of the week talking about how these frustrations that AJ Brown has been expressing, A, like, aren't new, and B, a lot of players agree with him because they do think he should be a big part of the offense, but that hasn't happened. And for that reason, it's hard to say, oh, this is the week, the squeaky wheel is going to get the grease. I'm not entirely like confident in it. I mean, obviously we can talk about the fact that the Lions have a lot of injuries in the secondary. I think it is really interesting, trying to figure out, like, are the Lions going to be a man heavy team like they usually are? Or are they going to default to more zone coverage because the Eagles have struggled against it? All of that to say, I don't know if I would expect this to be the, like, big AJ Brown, like, so that's what y'all wanted to see, huh, type of game. I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup. It's not like they're going to be able to do exactly whatever they want against this Lions defense. So, I mean, they're talented enough to do it, but I wouldn't be, bullish on this going into this game just based off of the fact that it really hasn't happened yet this season, even though AJ has been frustrated all year.
EJ, we were talking about defensively for the Eagles tonight, the linebackers versus Sonic and Knuckles here. If you had to guess right now, does one of Jihaad or Nakobe kind of get like the 60-40 Lions share? Does somebody run away with it? Is it pretty evenly split? How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, it's interesting because the Lions will go with that jumbo package, and I expect to see all of those guys on the field for a good amount against those looks. And, especially I think that favors Nakobe. But when they go to 11, I feel like because of the speed that the Lions have on the perimeter, you probably do lean more toward Jihaad Campbell in those scenarios. So I expect to see both of them. I think that's kind of the status quo for now, but I think it really kind of depends on what type of game this turns into. If you're going to tell me that the Lions start to use a lot of those jumbo packages, get that 6 offensive linemen on the field, that's where I really think you're going to see a lot of Nakobe Dean, and rightfully so. He's played well against those looks in the base defense. But if this turns into a nickel game, turns into a shootout, I think we will probably see more of Jihaad Campbell because, Jahmyr Gibbs is the type of player you need to account for him with as many, you need to try to mitigate as many of those matchup disadvantages as you can. And Jihaad Campbell, even though that's maybe one of the things he struggled with at times covering running backs, you still would feel better about him in those situations than Nakobe.
Couple lineup questions just to check the box here, EJ. Is it, in fact, Adoree Jackson lining up once again to start opposite Quinyon Mitchell? And then Cam Jurgens, we know he's active. Sounds like he's going to start as well at center.
Yeah, so the Adoree Jackson one, I can tell you, I got here nice and early. I wanted to watch the 4 o'clock slate of games, and they just dead giveaway. They announced him in like their little, their audition or their
That's an important thing. Yeah, the pregame announcements.
Yeah, they were working on the pregame announcements. I can't think, why is the word escaping me for what that rehearsal? The rehearsal for the pregame announcements.
Now, are they going to do BG today?
I didn't hear BG in there actually.
I would be surprised if they didn't add a 12th for Brandon Graham just to give the pop to the crowd. Yeah, that would make sense. I didn't hear him in the rehearsal, but I think you're probably right about that one. And then I saw Cam Jurgens warming up with Jalen Hurts. It was interesting. There was a point during the pregame warmups where Brett Toth was taking reps with Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata. I guess it's probably just Cam Jurgens wasn't out there for whatever reason, because when they went to team, and again when they came out in full pads, it was Jalen Hurts working with Cam Jurgens, who notably does have a big bulky brace on his right knee. And then how about the defensive line? Are we going to see Nolan Smith playing more? Where in pregame warmups, I guess, was it Jealan Phillips on the left, Nolan Smith on the right, and all of that stuff?
So I didn't catch the defensive line rotations, but I did make note. I mean, listen, I had to come on with you guys. It happens. It happens in real time here. But I did notice that Jealan Phillips was on the right during like the warmups where they're just kind of going through the motions there. So I hope that helps a little bit.
All right, AJ, we can't let you go without you giving us your official prediction. What do you got here?
I probably would have went with the Lions if you had asked me on Wednesday or Thursday. The amount of injuries that they have in the secondary, the fact that they're without Laporta, I still think this is going to be a tight game. I think it could be a weird game, kind of like last week. But I think I'm leaning the Eagles just because of the injuries that the Lions are dealing with. The Eagles are, by comparison, a lot healthier. And, sometimes, I know I poo-pooed the idea of this being the A.J. Brown game, but sometimes it is like these weeks where A.J., pops off, is very frustrated, and sometimes that does, bring out a different side of Jalen Hurts. So I'm leaving, and my favorite thing to do, I'm going to leave space for that to happen. So I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
Got a score?
You want to score?
Yeah, we want specific details.
Because if you hit it, then we can clip it and put it on social.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look
You're an oracle. Look at this, EJ
team
Smith.
Content.
He nailed it.
I'm still new to the team content. I gotta.
Why don't you take let me do us a favor. Why don't you take 4 shots at it?
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. All right, so I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think it's going to be probably 30-21. Give me 30-21. A little bit of a shootout. This is an A.J. Brown touchdown in the fourth quarter seals it.
All right,
you ready for take two?
Next up, take two.
Let's go. These are two good teams, two physical teams.
Good point.
Give me Eagles 24, Lions 20. A little bit of a slugfest early, and the Eagles pull away late. Let's go with that one.
Okay, I like that. Good prediction. Hey, EJ, who you got in the game tonight?
After last week, I'm going to go with the low-scoring game here. I'm going to say Eagles 13. Eagles defense is playing well. I'm going to go Lions 10 there.
Wow, what a prediction. If you nail that, man, that's going to go viral.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you heard it here first.
Take 4. EJ, we can't let you go without asking you for the big prediction. Who you got?
This is A.J. Brown's been frustrated all week. This is going to be like a Big 12 game, man. These are two good offenses. High octane. Okay. 41.
Whoa.
34.
Whoa. Shootout.
Unbelievable.
What a prediction.
What a call that's going to be.
I think I covered my bases here. I appreciate this, guys. Yeah.
EJ, I will let you know. We have the professor in the comments watching from his seats. He says, yes, it was Jealan Phillips on the left, Nolan Smith on the right. He said there were also some snaps of nickel with Cooper DeJean on the outside and Michael Carter on the inside.
Ooh.
That'll be interesting. I mean, is this the week that you do it, though?
To me, this doesn't
with
feel
Amon-Ra
like
St. Brown, this doesn't feel like a week that you go heavy with Cooper. You know what? I'm going to let you guys go to Fran. I want to hear what Fran has to say about this. So I'm going to listen to the show as I watch warmups.
Nicely done. Well, thank you very much, EJ Smith. We will talk to you in the post-game show. Enjoy the game. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
All right, and before we get to Fran Duffy, first we take a quick break to hear from our friends at Ashley. Black Friday starts right now at Ashley. Door-busting deals, unbeatable prices. Style your home and save big today. Discover unbeatable deals on inspiring styles during Ashley's Black Friday saving event and take advantage of Black Friday special financing with 0% interest for 60 months only at Ashley. Offers valid through November 30th, 2025. Restrictions and exclusions may apply.
And you can find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Sunday Night Football, you can get a part of the $365,000 jackpot. Place a $10 bet on the first touchdown scorer and get a split of $365K in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. Payable regardless of if their first touchdown scorer bet wins or loses. It's called Sunday Night Jackpot. Just another example of why it's never ordinary at Bet365. They have the best early payout offers going. They always have some fun action going for you. And breaking news from Bet365, new customers can get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up using that code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a bet of $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. And whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Black Friday starts right now at Ashley. Door-busting deals, unbeatable prices. Style your home and save big today. Discover unbeatable deals on inspiring styles during Ashley's Black Friday event and take advantage of Black Friday special financing with 0% interest for 60 months only at Ashley. Offers valid through 11/30/25. Restrictions and exclusions may apply.
Now, I was just going to say, I know our next guest enjoys some smoked meats, Bo. He's known to smoke some meats himself. We got belly full of turkey and brisket right now, thanks to our friends over at Mission Barbecue. Gave us a great little pregame spread, even some salmon there for Lindsay and Julia. They got it all. Check out their catering. It was great. Good stuff.
You think only women eat fish?
No, but Lindsay's a pescatarian. They both.
Yeah, same.
Julia's
I had
gonna
some
eat,
last week. It was good.
She's gonna get into that brisket. I know her.
Those cheesy potatoes were very good.
Delightful.
Yeah.
And the green bean bacon. Nice little spread there.
Super chat before we get to Fran from Richard Fitzwell, who says the game plan for tonight: turn him into Jared Goof.
Yeah, got his ass. Thank you.
Make it so that it's more likely that the Lions' season ends earlier and you turn him into Jared Golf.
Oh, nice.
All right, we head out to the Xfinity mobile call-in line now. Once again, to welcome in Fran Duffy.
He liked that one.
X's and O's expert. Fran, how are you? You look great.
Doing great, guys. It's I didn't have anything on the smoker today, though, Jamie. I went Sunday gravy today.
How about lion? How about you smoke some lion?
Tastes like chicken.
I wasn't able to smoke any lion this week, unfortunately.
Would you eat lion?
What's that?
Would you eat lion? You're not the one. Let's say it has been unfortunately killed by another predator, not by human hands. But for some reason they weren't able to eat the meat. You're making the most of the meat. Would you eat it?
I think it would have to be like a when in Rome situation. Like if others around me were also partaking, and it was like, oh yeah, that's what we do. Then I wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Where's the brisket rank for you on the power rankings of smoked meats?
I would say it's got to be top two.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I like a pork butt, like
pork butt.
Smoked pork, pulled pork. I mean, that's tough to beat.
Yeah.
I feel like brisket. You can get bad brisket.
Yes, I agree with that. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you can get bad football. So let's talk about good football between two of the best teams in the NFC here, Fran. Eagles, Lions. What is your the thing you're most interested to see what the Eagles do on either side of the ball? Let's call it like first quarter. What is the game plan that they come out with? What are you most intrigued by?
It is the offense, because it's been a wild ride, right? Like we've talked about it, how it's like changed. The identity is different on almost a seemingly like week to week basis. Hey, this week we're going to go under center and we're going to run a lot of 11 personnel, and this one we're going to throw out a 12 a lot. We're going to run heavy. We're going to go run heavy on this one. Just all the different things that they've done, all the different approaches they've taken. I'm fascinated to see. All right, how is Detroit going to stick to their man-to-man identity? And if they do, are the Eagles going to try and take advantage? I said it on Thursday's show. To me, if it were me going up against this Lions team, I think that the biggest mismatch is A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith on the perimeter against these corners. And that was before we knew Terrion Arnold was definitely out of the game. So to me, that is the formula for success here in this one. I'm fascinated to see if the Eagles try and push those buttons, but plenty to argue about on the other side as well.
Well, let's stick with the offense, because in your mind, does that mean spread it out? We play 11 heavy and get more of their defensive backs on the field, and maybe even still try to run it from those formations, even though it feels like what the offense has done better this season is with those heavy packages.
Yeah, I think for me personally, and this is one of the things that is good about the Eagles offense, is that I don't think that from a personnel standpoint, there's a huge difference between playing 11 and 12 personnel. Like I don't know that, am I really gaining or losing a lot purely like talent-wise from Jahan Dotson to Grant Calcaterra and back and forth, right? So, for me, when I look at it, it's like, all right, what are the advantages of going one way or the other? Well, when I look across on the other side of the line of scrimmage, this is a team that does feel comfortable playing in base. They play base more than anybody, almost more than anybody in the NFL. They're second in the NFL in base defense percentage. They feel comfortable playing those three guys out there, those three linebackers. And with the injuries they have in the secondary, yeah, I'd rather lean into playing 11 personnel in this game and really force you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. So for me, I think that I would say if it were me making the shot or making the call, I would say go 11 personnel, make this a throw first game, and you try and work off of that.
So, Fran, on the other side of the ball, what's the thing about this Lions offense that kept Vic Fangio up last night?
I would say it's the explosive playmaking ability from Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams, and knowing that you still have that constant move the chains mover in all areas of the field with Amon-Ra St. Brown. But to me, it's the explosives, get the ball out of Jared Goff's hands fast to Jameson Williams on these shallow crossers that they've started incorporating more of over the last couple of weeks. He's not just a deep threat anymore in this offense, and then also to Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, we know the Eagles have been so good against quick throw. The tackling has been outstanding for the most part under Vic Fangio the last 2 years. And you think about all the island stops from Cooper DeJean and from the safeties and the linebackers, one-on-one in the flats along the sideline. That said, we've seen Andrew Nakobe have some down moments in those kind of situations. We've seen Adoree Jackson have some down moments in those situations. So you want to make sure that everybody is sound from a tackling standpoint, bodies to the football, palpation of the football, making sure everybody's rallying and tackling, because you don't want to let Jameson Williams loose. You certainly don't want to let Jahmyr Gibbs loose out in the open field.
On the line of scrimmage in this game for the Eagles on defense, if we see the kind of ferocity we saw last week, how does this Lions offensive line match up, knowing that they're a little bit banged up and they've got one of the best offensive linemen in football, but aside from Penei Sewell, how does it line up?
Yeah, I think that when you look at the rest of the offensive line, it's a solid group. I don't know that I would go quite as far as how Vic Fangio laid it out, where this is the best offensive line in football, but it's a good group overall. Even just looking past Penei Sewell. That said, you've got a rookie right guard. You've got a first-time starter at center who's a vet, who's he's been in the league for a while, but this is the first time where he's kind of going through the paces this season as the starting center. He's not the most athletic guy. He's more in your face, kind of grinded out type of center. And then at left guard, you've got a backup in, a guy that some of the defensive linemen have some familiarity with. And you look over at left tackle, Taylor Decker's he's a longtime vet, but not a plus player. He's just a rock solid starter for years in the NFL. So I think when you look at this group, it's a solid group, but it's a gettable group. And if the Eagles, if they continue to play the way that they have up front on the defensive line, that will make for a favorable matchup here for the Eagles. And
then on the other side, Fran, Hutchinson versus our tackles here in Philadelphia should be a great one-on-one matchup to watch all night.
Yeah, they've done a little bit more with trying to move him around and try and get him matched up on the weaker offensive linemen. So it's not just he's going to get every single rep against Lane or every single rep against Jordan. I do worry a little bit about the matchup of him versus Jordan Mailata. Look, against Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson is the best pass protecting tackle in football. So, I feel good about that matchup. But Jordan can get beat every once in a while. So in those high leverage moments, I'm sure that Jalen Hurts will be cognizant of, all right, where is 97 on any given play.
All right, Fran. How many takes would you like when I ask you who's going to win this game?
Well, what is this Bush League stuff of getting 4 or 5 takes?
Trying to go viral, baby.
Unbelievable. That said, I'm going to go. I will say on one of the takes that EJ gave, I believe it might have been his first one. He said, if you had asked me Wednesday afternoon, if you asked me Thursday even about this game, I was a little worried about the matchup, and to an extent, I still am. But as I've sat on it for a couple days, I am starting to think, I lean more towards the Eagles side here. I do think the injuries, I mean, losing Laporta, Arnold being out, some of these other guys that are banged up here for Detroit that were late additions to the injury report, I think that certainly plays in the Eagles' favor. I'm going to go Eagles 27, Detroit 21. Eagles could come away with the win here on Sunday Night Football.
All right. Love it. Thank you very much, Fran. We will talk to you on the post-game show. Enjoy the game. How late does Francis get to stay up for this bad boy?
We let him go until he falls asleep on the sofa. Now, the thing is that I let him stay up for Texas, Georgia last night, and he fell asleep for that one like at halftime.
This is a back-to-back for him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that how long he's going to make it. He was already asking me, like, is it 8:20 yet, as I was coming up here. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, enjoy the game, Fran. We'll talk to you afterwards.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks to the Xfinity Mobile call-in line for bringing us Fran Duffy. Here we go, Jamie. Let's get to your Bet365 best bets as we approach 10 minutes to kick off for this monster game. A game I feel like probably tells us, more about the general state of the Eagles than any other game on their schedule the rest of the year.
Yeah, so because of the Lions secondary kind of being banged up, I took Jalen Hurts over passing yards tonight. It's at 214.5 passing yards. I just feel like they're going to get something going through the air tonight. Then I went with Jared Goff. When the stage is big,
I like that.
Jared Goff loves throwing interceptions.
Plus 110, that's good.
Yeah, a little plus action there on a Goff INT. And then I do think Gibbs breaks one at some point tonight, so I took him for a rush over 20 yards of plus 175.
I also have the vision of Jahmyr Gibbs getting free for a big gain in this game, but I instead went with the receiving yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. I went over 22.5 receiving yards. I think they might be able to get him matched up on Nakobe Dean at some point. That's the one call that I'm making there, minus 110. I am rolling with DeVonta Smith. I feel like maybe the odds makers have not quite caught up to the fact that DeVonta is the number one receiver on this team right now. So I'm going DeVonta over 58.5 receiving yards, minus 110. And then I'm calling my shot. I don't think the odds are quite good enough to make this bet significant. This is like, a 10-unit bet.
Yeah.
But give me Nakobe Dean
Love it.
to have an interception in this game. That's what I feel. The Lions throwing the ball over the middle of the field. Maybe Nakobe feints like he's coming in, drops back, picks one off. Nakobe with an interception, plus 1,100.
Nice. That would be some sweet action right there.
How about our PHLY parlay?
And then we have our same game parlay. Eagles money line. A.J. Brown gets it going. Over 70 receiving yards and a Saquon anytime touchdown right there for you on Bet365, where it's never ordinary.
One more super chat before we make our final predictions here. My POV life. I'm going to read this. I believe this is written in Jerry Seinfeld cadence. Could AJ and Hurts be any more different?
Yeah, it brings up the
I mean, one of them could be, I don't know, Cam Jurgens.
They do seem like very different personalities.
Extremely different personalities.
And they were best friends, which is interesting to me. Previously best friends.
Yeah.
I don't believe they're best friends anymore.
Have you ever had an experience in life where you felt like you were really tight with someone who you didn't know that well, and then you got to a situation where you had to spend a lot of time with them, and it turned out that you didn't really like them very much?
I'm sure it probably happened, but nothing comes to mind.
It feels like that's kind of like early college, like like first couple weeks, like, oh, yeah, this guy's the best.
That's my boy. And then you get a house with him sophomore year, and you're like, oh, this guy's a slob.
Doesn't clean up after himself.
Just clipping toenails in the sink. It's disgusting.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the toenail clipper in this situation?
Probably AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. All right, let's get to our predictions here, Jamie. How do you see this one playing out?
You asked me earlier when we were eating the delicious food, and I'm going to stick with this until proven otherwise. It's hard for me to pick against the Birds. Certainly the safest prediction is
the Eagles win the game in a fashion that makes us all unhappy.
Yeah, it's like the meme in real life happens every single week where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my favorite football team's playing. Oh, God, this is awful. I want to die. Oh, cool, we won. It just feels like that happens every single week. It's probably going to be frustrating. It's probably going to be ugly at times. But I'm going to go with the Birds winning this one 27-24.
I'm laughing because back-to-back comments about that dynamic said, yes, that's my marriage. From two different people, which is very funny.
Luckily, AJ and Jalen don't have to go through any messy paperwork to end their...
I mean, it feels very silly for us to go a clean sweep here that the Eagles are going to win this game.
I know.
When the Lions are a very good team.
Very good.
And I do feel like they have had this game circled. And maybe we are making too much of them being without Terry Arnold and Kirby Joseph. You know, if you believe in Kelvin Shepard, that's still a very good defense. But I'm going with the Eagles, and I kind of think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that they kind of romp in this game.
Yeah?
I'm going with the Eagles. Let's call it 28-17. The defense, and I think there's a chance. I think that the defense could really, in this game, re-announce itself as okay. Remember when we were the best defense in football last year? We're almost at that level now.
And the other thing too, Jalen Hurts plays his best football on the biggest stage. This is a big stage. You have a path to the number 1 seed. You're at home on Sunday Night Football. It's what was supposed to be the NFC Championship game last year. Like, I expect Hurts to play well tonight, and I think A.J. Brown's going to get involved, and I think you're right. I think the defense is going to have people excited after this one.
The myth-making in my mind right now is that those back-to-back comments were actually from a married couple watching the show in like opposite rooms in the house.
It's possible.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to run with.
Yeah, that works.
All right. We're going to be here for the halftime show to give you a little update and to unpack what happens in the first half. And then, of course, can't miss the post-game show presented by Bet365 and Ashley. Super Bowl champion Vinny Curry joins us. We'll hear from Fran Duffy. We'll hear from EJ Smith and you, the sickos. But for now, settle in, get your bathroom break out of the way, and enjoy the first half. Eagles, Lions, thanks for watching, everybody. Comment on the video, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you at halftime. And as always, we love you.
Go Birds!
We all silly like the mayor.